The European Landowners is a very acknowledged organization in Brussels and in the EU. It organizes many important events annually linked to agriculture, the environment, biodiversity, trade, not least the annual conference and the regional forums like this one, which take place every semester in the member states, which will be leading the presidency of the EU. In Spain, of course, we also have a delegation, and this is why I wish to invite the co-founder of this forum, also vice president of the ELO, Gabriel Lodares, to come to the lectern and address all of us. Good morning, and thanks very much for your kind words. Donelli and Cartilla, thanks very much for hosting this event at CSIC, this Scientific Research National Council. CSIC needs to be acknowledged, fairly acknowledged, since it represents a fundamental institution for the farming and agriculture world, such a necessary world for life in Spain. Research is of the essence, and quoting Unamuno, when he said, "Let others invent," cannot be applicable in this case. We need to be independent in food. We need to be independent in research as well. Europe cannot depend on alien stakeholders in other countries with other interests. I'm also here as a member of the European Landowners, an organization where I am the Spanish representative. European Landowners organization is based in Brussels. It is an association of associations. In this room, there is a good representation of the European representatives. Tomorrow, the General Assembly will take place as every semester, twice a year. Therefore, this year it will be held in Spain for the explained reasons. Due to the Spanish presidency semester beginning in July. Brussels is the place where all the policies are discussed and decided upon that will later be implemented in the member states. The European landowners need to have a voice and a vote in Brussels. The Spanish rural landowners need to be represented in Brussels. It is only there that we can decide and we can help everything be in its right position before Spain can make movements between them, because it will be too late. The voice of the rural landowners is essential. We are part of the solution. We are long-term people who are convinced of their ideas, and in most cases, we have a legacy from previous generations that we want to transmit to the future ones. I'm also here as an farmer, a stock farmer, as a manager of hunting areas. I'm a lover of nature. I take care of nature. And I must say that the older I grow, the more I like it. But I'm a bit confused as well, because we have moved from a time when agriculture was loved during the COVID period, when our industry was really praised as a sector that contributed a great deal, being able to tackle the situation. And now, all of a sudden, we are faced with a situation in which we seem to no longer be the solution. We are CO2 emitters. We are methane emitters. We produce meat that is not good for the health of the population. And the reality is that this is not the case either. Inflation is our fault. In fact, it has been transmitted to the food chain 10 months late. So the inflation is going down, but underlying inflation is still high. The policies implemented in Brussels, policies like the Green Deal, the Granja a la Mesa, the farm to the table, or other policies that are subject to discussions like the nature restoring law or soil health law, they make us very stressed because they are changing policies. If you do not adapt to the first one, you're not prepared for the second one, which is coming. 7% of cow farmers disappear every year. The lands are becoming depopulated really fast. And from my point of view, I have to say that I'm afraid that there is no way back. But Europe is saying that they don't want to leave anybody behind. So we don't really see how the companies buying our products, multinationals or not so multinationals, they are engaged in their own fulfillment of the environmental policies, their CO2 emissions policies. And in many cases, we farmers and stock farmers are the last echelon of the chain, and we need to have it clear that we are the solution for them, and they should rely on us to fulfill their policies. The carbon capture or sequestration, reduction of CO2 emissions are not the core of the discussion. We cannot have any doubts about climatic change. Nobody does anymore. Are landowners capable of tackling this situation? The answer is unequivocally yes. Is climate change responsible for the extreme drought that we are going through? I don't think this is a question that we should ask ourselves. Agriculture in Europe needs to adapt. It cannot continue to do what it always did. They used to say when I was young that we should repeat what has been done for generations, but this drought is a serious warning. 100% of fodder has been lost in my area, 80% of cereal has been lost. The May rain is really useless to resolve this. Cereal in Spain have been lost at 80%. And there is only agricultural insurance for 30% of the surface. How can we continue to feed our animals without fodder or cereal? How can we feed them when fodder is over 400 euro per ton? Just make the calculation. Over 150 euro for a ton of straw. How can we continue to fulfill our environmental commitments without any income? If our sector, if our industry is not profitable, there will be no possibility to implement environmental policies, no future for the sector. Let alone the drought. This is applicable at any time, anywhere. So the voice of the landowners should be heard. Clearly, we are here because we are part of this whole, and we will do what is necessary to make our legacy be transmitted to the future generations. But we cannot be the condition for Europe being the greenest, the most ecological, the one that helps countries the most for their development, making us look like the losers. We need to acknowledge, having said that European products are seen as very good quality products. Consumers, Spanish products, sorry. Spain sells oil, fruits, vegetables, meat, cheese, many products that are very, very highly praised. We need to incorporate technology. We need to take care of our landscape as an attraction. We need to adapt to the new reality. Landowners play a major role in this, and we are mainly made up of family companies, big, medium-sized, small. We are all family-owned companies, and these companies have it in their DNA, everything that is included in the European Green Deal, the European Agreement. We want to give voice to landowners which do things differently, which include the management on the environment and make a living out of all that. We will have the voice of the food chain, the voice of the consumers, Sometimes we want that voice, sometimes we want it less, but we have to listen to it. I hope you will have a fruitful discussion, and I hope we will take advantage of or leverage this forum to open our minds to the changes that are coming, changes in which landowners have a great deal to say. Thank you.
Muchas gracias, Gabriel.
Thanks very much, Daniel. You said that one policy comes quickly after the other before we've applied the previous one. Yes, that's true. In 3 years' time, we will have a new one.